What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, and we've been plugging it for a few days now. We got, I was going to say arguably, but I don't even think it's arguably anymore. We got the best offensive lineman in the SWAC, probably maybe even the FCS, man. We got Mark Evans II, Arkansas Pine Bluff offensive lineman, three-time All-SWAC selection, and he was selected as a top 10 HBCU player by Pro Football Network this year. I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. So we got to start out with this, man. You got to start from somewhere. You don't just become the best lineman in the FCS out of nowhere. How did you end up at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and why did you choose this school as the place to continue your education?
Man, it's a long story. People don't actually know this, but I actually was going to go to a junior college, Navarro Junior College. Have you ever heard of them before? Navarro Junior College, I was going to go there first.
Yeah. I haven't heard of them, but I know a lot of players decide to go to JUCO early, man.
Mm-hmm. That was my first sort of coming out of high school. I didn't have many offers. I didn't have no divisional offer at all. I had a couple of D2s. I had Texas A&M Commerce, Texas A&M Kingsville, Angelo State, schools of that nature, stuff like that. But no D1s ever hit me up. I did have Southern come through, but they never pulled the trigger. Southern, Prairie View, Texas, they all came to the school. They never actually, went through and gave me an offer or nothing like that. So I ended up I actually committed to Navarro, and I signed there. I signed my letter to go there on signing day, February 2nd. But I ended up getting an offer from UAPB May 30th, the day on graduation, right before we graduated. I got that offer, and I didn't really want to go because I was kind of reluctant on going because the coach from UAPB was the one that was at Southern, and he the one that he didn't offer me. He wanted with a different type of, and I was like, I can go with that dude. But I ain't really, it was cool though. I ain't think too much about it. I wasn't gonna go. My mama, she kind of talked me into it. Coach T's and all that kind of talked me into going out there, going to Pine Bluff. So that's the whole story on that.
Man, how does it feel now, though, man, to really receive all this recognition in terms of, being all SWAC, being a top 10 player, and being, I think a lot of people have you being one of the next HBCU players drafted, kind of breaking that streak. We saw 0 players this last year, which was ridiculous anyway. You're one of the top prospects coming out of the SWAC now. How does that make you feel to know that, all those Power 5 schools overlooked you, but let's just say there's probably a lot of schools that would love to have you on the roster now. How does that kind of feel?
I feel like it's a blessing in a way, but I also feel like it's a curse because, as soon as they give you the recognition, it can be taken away from you in the same amount of time because, people think you're not that good. You have a bad season, stuff like that, things of that nature, you get an injury, you just fall off the draft boards. I also got to sit back and take the time to just, realize that, I'm kind of, I don't want to say a star player, but kind of a player to know in the HBCU conference. So, it's just a blessing overall.
Right. And so, we got to get into last year a little bit. Just can you take me behind the scenes, take our listeners behind the scenes? What was the key to making that SWAC championship run? Y'all get all the way there, have a great game with Alabama A&M, and just kind of came out of nowhere. You surprised a lot of people. What was the key for the team last year to making that deep run?
The key was just to believe that we can do it. We all believe that we can make it to the SWAC championship. So, that was the goal from the day we put the pads on spring. Just SWAC championship. We ended the practice 1, 2, 3 championship, things like that. We already kind of knew we was gonna make it. It was kind of everybody else that was kind of surprised when we got there, but we weren't surprised. We felt like we belonged there. So.
I like it, man. I like the confidence. So, man, you don't see this a lot, but you got playing time immediately getting on campus. You've got
yes,
playing
sir.
time every year you've been there, man. But I want you to kind of take a step back. How has your personal game on the field evolved from freshman year to the player we see now?
The player I see now. So freshman year, I want to kind of say it was. You can kind of take the film. It wasn't that good. My pass set wasn't as smooth as it is right now. My run blocking technique was kind of, iffy and things like that. But, I kind of just got with my coaches. They kind of took the time to, I want to say, evolve me a little more. Each year, they kind of gave me a little tips and things I can add to my game, kind of just working on technique after practice, stuff like that. Just doing the best I can do to fine-tune my game to be the best offensive lineman I can be.
Hey, I like to hear it, man. So evaluating yourself as a player, you mentioned the pass blocking, the run blocking. right now as a player, what is your biggest strength as an offensive lineman?
My biggest strength as offensive lineman would have to be probably just intelligence and knowing the game right now. Just knowing what to do, know what the lineman's gonna do, what he gets to do, actually, just things like that.
Right. And I mean, I love hearing so like I know Peyton Manning's real famous for, the way he thinks about the game. Tom Brady,
Mm-hmm.
how much film study do you put in during the week studying your matchup going into Saturdays?
Every day I'm watching film, it doesn't pick, I just kind of like chill, if I'm just not doing nothing, I pull up my phone, I pull it back. Actually, I pull up my phone, just watch a few plays, stuff like that, few games, whatever I can get in. I'm always trying to get a little film work in. Always.
I like it. So, this is kind of, you don't have to give us all your secrets because I mean, there's a reason why you're the best out there, man.
I don't
What's
say
the
that,
number
man.
one?
I don't say that.
What's the number one thing you look for when scouting a defensive lineman that you're going to play that weekend?
Ball get off.
Ooh.
His ball get off, pad level, and stuff like that. Things like that. Pad level, hand placement, his top 3 worst moves, how he attacks certain blocking schemes, stuff like that. That's all I look at.
Oh, I like it, man. So I'm going to get a little film study on you, man. What if you were an opponent, you were scouting yourself? What is one thing that you think you need to work on to improve your game?
Ooh, I don't even want to tell you. That thing might be listening right now to steal it. Let me see, man. If I was watching me, I would say I need to work on my hand placement on probably run block, stuff like that. On run blocking, how I place my hands. Sometimes they kind of typically in on the outside, and I kind of want to in around that breastplate area, the shirt, That's where I get the shirt in there, Hopefully, it's like swag championship next year.
I like it. I like it. So, would you consider yourself more of a pass blocking offensive lineman or a run blocking? What's your specialty?
My specialty, people probably gonna hate because I'm gonna choose pass block. A lot of people think like run blocking is the best, but I love run blocking. But I kind of like pass blocking for the simple fact that you can just you can kind of vary how you can kind of, I guess you can kind of play around with it. You kind of get the defensive lineman up for a game because you can give them a new pass. Say you can probably give them a quick set or a vertical set, stuff like that, 45-degree angle set. And run block, you take a wrong step, you automatically lose. You lost the rep. So it's just like ain't no coming back from that. That's why I kind of choose pass block because you can just do your own with it, and make it your own game. It's like a game inside of a game, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, and so during the week, just in terms of your time at Arkansas Pine Bluff, how often do you study what the guard, the center, all the other people do on the offensive line? And do you feel where on the line would you feel most comfortable playing at the next level?
I would probably say I was wanting to play left tackle, and I feel like I seen guys like what's his name from Georgia, Isaiah Wynn from Georgia.
Yep.
Dudes like Kelvin Beachum. Dudes like this kind of my stature. Same body build as me, and I feel like I can do what they do. If they can do it, I can do it too. That's no knock to not because I'm not as good as them yet, but I'm working on trying to get to that level.
Right. And so, I want to kind of, before we get to next season and just you as a player too, when you saw the list come out, because it really what caught a lot of people's eye was that list from Pro Football Network. How does it feel to be ranked as a top 10 HBCU player? And where would you, and just in terms of yourself, where would you rank yourself in terms of offensive linemen, just in terms of all the FCS?
All the FCS. I mean, it was a blessing the guy James, his last name started with F. I'm sorry if I missed the name. I'm not even gonna say it. James, he followed me and I was kind of like, yeah, he worked for PFN, so I'm kind of like maybe he's kind of doing an article or something like that. But like a few days go by and I see the article, I'm like, tag me. I'm like, whoa, somebody think I'm a top 10 player. So I was kind of surprised because they really don't be showing no love like that to the offensive lineman as they should. But you kind of do our dirty work. You can kind of go behind the scenes, dudes like that. But I seen it, I was like, yeah, that was nice. That was really dope. People was retweeting it, tagging me in it and all that. I was like, man, he kind of called me a martyr. So I was like, yeah, man, he real. He kept it real for that. And then,
He is.
among FCS, I would kind of say that I feel like I should have been on the All-American list. At least one. That's how I feel about myself. I should have made at least one of them. But I'm kind of like, if I know I'm good, I'm not really worried about somebody else saying I'm good or at least validating me if I'm a good player or not. So
Hey, back it up on the field. That's all that matters, man. So I want to kind of shift into next season. So before we get into your personal goals, what are the team goals for Arkansas Pine Bluff going into the 2021 season?
Oh, you already know we trying to get back to the championship. When we lost, we came in the locker room. That was the first thing, Coach Doc Gamble said, trying to get back to the SWAC championship again, trying to get back there. And this time have a different outcome, but win it this time.
Absolutely. And so, what on the more personal side, what are your personal goals? I know it's always team first, but I know everyone's internally motivated by something, man. What are your personal goals that you hope to achieve this season?
I'm kind of trying to take it to a new level this year. I kind of made a list before I got there. I wanted to be a starter. I accomplished that goal. I wanted to be on the first team all SWAC. I got that my sophomore year. I got it again my junior year. I wanted to get to the championship. We got there, but I'm trying to win the championship. So I would have to say that my new goal, I'm always trying to improve and stuff like that. So I have to say at least this year make a FCS list, something like that. Get invited to one of them bowl games after like a senior bowl game or HBCU Legacy Bowl, one of them, and just get back to the championship. And this time have a different outcome and win the game.
Hey, I like it, man. You mentioned that your goal is to get back to that SWAC championship. I mean, we cover a lot of SWAC football on this channel, and I've been kind of reading the comments, getting the tone of the fans, and there's not really a lot of talk about Arkansas Pine Bluff, to be honest with you. That they're always Jackson State this, Alabama A&M this. I mean, on and on and on. Why do you think Arkansas Pine Bluff is being so overlooked going into this season?
I think it's because, in the past, we've had a history of just losing like a lot of games in a row. We losing to the big time, losing to Grambling and Prairie View. We losing to Jackson State when we play them, losing to Alabama A&M. But, these past 2 seasons, we just kind of trying to change that narrative, and flip things around.
Hey, I like it. And I mean, well, what's your message to those fans, man? Like, I mean, you can kind of, speak it into existence. What do you got to tell those fans that are like, man, it's Alcorn and everyone else, it's Jackson State, everybody else. Talk about like what Arkansas Pine Bluff is going to bring into this season, man.
I can just tell y'all, man, y'all have to wait to see on the field. That's all I can say. Let them play do the talking.
Hey, I love it, man.
So we love to be the underdog, though.
Hey, I guess, man, playing with no pressure is just different, and just being able to go out there and be the underdog, upset. But looking at the schedule, man, I know the first game is the most important, and that's always going to be the number one answer here.
Sir.
But looking at the schedule, man, which game on y'all's schedule are you looking forward to playing in the most this year?
I'm looking forward to playing that Prairie View A&M game. My younger brother, he actually go there, so that's why it's a big time game for me. He actually paid to get in too, so that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, both those games are going to be huge. I'm looking forward to y'all's season, but this is more about you as a player, man. Which NFL offensive lineman? It could be past, it could be present, it could be one that just got drafted. Which NFL offensive lineman do you model your game after the most?
I model the one that went to my school, Teron Armstead. I try to steal things from his game, add it to mine, emulate it into my game as much as I can, because things like that. I try to steal stuff from Isaiah Wynn because he's kind of like the more more representative offensive lineman. My bad. He's kind of like the more one that represent me the most. If you being real, like Isaiah Wynn, Kelvin Beachman, like I mentioned earlier, dudes like that.
Hey, you can't go wrong with them, man. There's some studs over there, especially Armstead, man. That's probably future Hall of Famer over there. But looking at your career, man, you've played against so many defensive linemen. Who is the best defensive lineman that you've ever faced in the game?
The best one I actually faced in the game was my freshman year. I'll never forget to do. He went to Alabama. His name was Uric Bethune. I don't know if he's in the league by now, but if he's not on the roster, I'll actually be surprised. I'll be shocked. That dude was good. He was good.
It was a long day.
It was a long day at first half. Second half, I kind of got into it. I kind of snapped into it and kind of started blocking and everything. But, that first half, he was getting on me. He was bending the corner, doing things, you wouldn't see me in the FCS all defensive linemen being able to do. Like bending around the corner, dipping and ripping, stuff like that.
Hey, I like it, man. So, you talk about making those second half adjustments. As an offense, everyone focuses on, if your team's losing, we got to get the wide receivers doing this. The offense has to be run first, pass this. The defense got to shift like this. As an offensive lineman, what are what are the most common adjustments you have to make, and what do you as you're playing in the first half, what are some things you're keying on to make the proper adjustments in the second half?
I'm kind of looking at the blitzes. I'm just looking at the blitz, see how they line up on the ball, seeing how they get off on the ball, on the snap count, see if they jump snap, stuff like that. Watching for the edges, if they got any corner blitzes, stuff like that. Where the linebackers lining up at, the games on the inside, I just look at everything, trying to make sure, so I can come back out. And then help on the sideline. You go on the sideline with coach, he be on the sideline, if they doing this, if they giving us what kind of splits they give, what kind of game they giving us, stuff like that. So that's why it's kind of helpful. I go inside halftime, I'll be able to come back out, just play with no pressure.
I like it. So I think I know the answer to this because of last year, but what is the biggest game that you've ever played in your career?
Well, that was my first time being in a championship game. And so that was the first time actually ever getting to that stage in the football. So I would have to say the last year's SWAC championship.
I like it. And I mean, going into that game, what was your mindset going in there? Like, was that game a little bit different in terms of the nerves and preparation? And on top of that, what is usually your pregame ritual? And did it change for that game?
I mean, no, it didn't change. I just go out there and do the same thing I do. I ain't want to switch it up or none. Cause that's how you go out there. You don't play it. That's how you go out there. Don't be yourself. You go out there. You got to switch it up. So I just kept it the same and kind of did it every week. So my ritual would have to be I just put on my headphones and try to get locked into the game, just do stuff like that. With my phone do not disturb, I kind of stop the phone, just listen to music, just lock in, stuff like that.
I like it. So are you a trash talker on the field, man? Because I know I played O-line in high school, and I wasn't good enough to go anywhere, but I remember in the trenches, he could get kind of loud in there, and you're always talking to your matchup. How big of a trash talker are you on the field?
Man, it just depends. I kind of like to just psych him out because I'm kind of whooping you the whole game. I'm not even saying nothing. That's what I like to do. That's why I just be like, dang, he ain't gonna say nothing. But sometimes, I just kind of get out of my body and just say a little few words, and I just lock back in because you saying stuff, then you start losing. You looking stupid. I don't want to go out there looking like that. So I just don't even say nothing at all.
I love it, man. So, last question here. We talked a little bit earlier. No Hbcu players drafted last year, and I don't think that's ever going to be the case again. We have so many good prospects coming out. If an NFL team comes to you and asks what are they getting in Mark Evans II, what are you going to tell them?
I'll tell them versatility. That guy that can play every position on the offensive line. I can go from tackle, guard, center. I can do it all. Whatever they need me to do, I'll do it.
Is there a favorite NFL team? I know that no matter who you get drafted by, you're going to be excited. But is there a team that you're like, man, that was my childhood team. I would love to play for them.
The Rams, St. Louis Rams. I actually grew up with St. Louis before I moved to Houston. So I was always a Rams fan.
Oh man, I like that. Man, imagine playing Aaron Donald every day in practice. That would just
that'd be dope. It'd be a lot of work though. Both I'll get better because he already great.
Oh yeah. I'm about to say, I don't know how much more he can improve. I mean, that dude,
he already good. He's an excellent player.
Absolutely,
but man, do it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, easily. But man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. This was a blast. I was looking forward to this one so much, and I appreciate you taking the time to join me, man. This is your time, though. These next few minutes, you can give shout outs, plug your Twitter, Instagram, anything you want to shout out or, I guess give out to our fans, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me. But, I just want to shout out my mama. I love her. She's my motivation. I do what I do. So everything I see on the field is just from her. She's a hardworking woman, so I'm a hardworking son, I guess. Stuff like that. But my Instagram is STL Marco, and my Twitter is Evans2_78.
Hey, perfect. That's such a I love when it's just perfect like that. Some of the people come on here and they're like, it's this crazy thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to remember that. So it's useful tag
I
there.
Keep things simple. I'm a simple dude. People know me. They already know I don't do too much. I just keep it. I'll be quiet, low key. So, that's why it's a blessing just to kind of be on the interview. I'm kind of nervous, but
No, man, you did great. I know a lot of people are going to be very, very interested in hearing what you got to say, man. One of the best players in the FCS, man. And listen, I can go on a limb here, man. I can't not wait to see you play at the next level, man. I'm going to be following you all throughout this, and I'm definitely going to hit you up, man. When you go to the league, I'm going to hit you up, be like, hey, man, I need that NFL interview.
No doubt.
I appreciate it, man. But guys, make sure to go follow Mark on everything. And y'all already know, I know a lot of y'all already going to tune in, but if you're not, make sure to tune in to some Arkansas Pine Bluff football this year, man. Make sure to keep up with Mark because he could be playing for your favorite team on Sunday soon. But guys, y'all know where to find us. Y'all subscribe now right here on the Bluebloods. We're also available on any and all podcast streaming platforms. We'll be back later this week with another interview and another 2-minute drill. You already know Monday through Friday with 2-minute drills. But for Mark, myself, and the Bluebloods guys, we are out.